Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 6 and now we'll explain about the Islamic banking and finance in Liberia. Islamic banking is finance or banking activities that are based on the rules of Sharia. Islamic banking now being a global phenomenon. Islamic finance nowadays already started in many countries, not only Muslim countries but non-Muslim countries. Islamic finance in sub-Saharan Africa is at the nascent stage. One of the country in West Africa, Liberia, almost most of the population is Protestantism. Only 12.2%, which is 0.47 million, that are Muslim. According to 2012, Liberia did not have any Islamic banks or banks with Islamic windows.
The reason we chose this country because there is no much information there, so we want to initiate and work hard to research relevant information about this country and provide it to all those who depend on the future.
Traditional financial practices have rarely been depended upon as it ignores issues like allocating funds and the relationship between working capital finance and the management. Modern practice views financial practices on a wider approach. They have an analytical way of solving a company's financial problem. They involve with raising an optimal use of funds under the control of finance. Methods of models, mathematical programming, simulation, and financial engineering are used to solve the complex problems of modern finance. Three fundamental management decisions, which are investment, dividend, and financing decisions, are considered in the modern approach, unlike the latter. Thus, it is important to understand the modern day of financial practices.
In our findings for geographical distribution, there is only one bank that provides Islamic finance in Liberia, which is Afriland First Bank Liberia. So this bank is actually a branch from Cameroon Afriland First Bank, and they provide Sharia compliance service there, such as Murabaha, Mudarabah, and others. So in Liberia, they also provide Sharia compliance service like Islamic deposit account. So this branch is only one in Liberia and is located in Sinkur, Monrovia.
After the establishment of the first Islamic Liberian bank, the bank shows the growth in liquidity, capital position, and net asset of shareholders. According to data from Central Bank of Liberia, even though the banking sector scores high, the liquidity remains at a high level of 41.8%.
The main trends cannot be ignored. They are non-performing loans and non-performing income.
Since bad debts have increased by almost 2% in a year,
The Central Bank, the Liberia Bankers Association, and the commercial banks
have taken action to address this issue. They control future financial services.
You can say that there is no Islamic bank available in Liberia, and the only bank that the citizen can access is the conventional bank, which the rate of Islamic practical is almost zero. While at the same time, there is a certain international bank like Guaranteed Trust Bank Liberia or GT Bank provide some service that Sharia compliance, which is first Hajj saving account. You can open this account, just start with $10, and there is no interest offer and no service charges. Second, Islamic saving account. You can open this account as a normal saving account, and there is no and zero.
There is no specific laws on Islamic finance industry due to the absence of Islamic banks, but there are three main regulating bodies for the commercial finance industry, which are the Central Bank Act of 1999, the New Financial Institution Act of 1999, the Microfinance Policy, and Regulatory and Supervisory Framework for Liberia. Non-bank financial institutions are allowed to operate in Liberia given that they have licenses from the central bank. Even so, there are still no Islamic financial institutions. Financial institutions are required to follow the usury law of Liberia for their lending operation and use declining balance method of interest computation, and this may raise concern for the Muslims, but they might opt for non-Islamic banks that offer Sharia compliance services as stated previously.
Analyzing contemporary issues and challenges for the Islamic banking and finance industry. As mentioned before, the most obvious challenge for the Islamic banking and finance industry in Liberia was the low population of Islam. Liberian Muslims were only 12% from the total population. It is still underdeveloped and still in experimental level compared to other continents in Africa. Even there's a new Islamic finance established, there is a big challenge for them to keep up with the conventional banks that are there from the beginning. And since people are non-Muslim there in Liberia and people that are not really familiar with the new Islamic finance system, it is quite difficult to bring new customers for the newly established Islamic banks. The other problem was the fact that Liberia is one of the poorest countries and most of the Muslims, as a minority there, can afford their basic needs as they are unemployed and often get help from neighboring countries such as Saudi Arabia and the others.
Due to the low population of Muslims in Liberia, there is less demand for Islamic banks and financial institutions, so there's less to none challenges faced, no specific laws governed, narrow distribution of Islamic banks, no products and services offered, and zero trends of Islamic banking and finance. Whilst there's potential for development, there's no current development of Islamic banking and finance in Liberia as of time. Thank you, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.